If you're trying to grow in your career, especially if you're self taught, you're trying to learn a bunch of skills by yourself. Maybe that's design, maybe that's something else. The main difference that I've observed between top performers in any field and everybody else is that the top performers know what it takes to grow. They are focused on growth as a thing by itself, right? They are not just focused on their craft, they have also figured out how growth happens on top of that. In this video, the core concept I want to talk to you about is investing in yourself. I want to present this perspective to you about how you can think about your individual career as a very, very underrated asset, and how you can do things to increase the value of that asset, and how once you start investing in yourself, you can now get other people to invest in you, and that's how growth happens. So hopefully you enjoy this video. This is one from the 10K Designers archive, where we do have a bunch of videos around mindset and productivity. Because once you figure the skills out, the next level of growth, these are the kind of things that will help you unlock it. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. As a designer or as any creative, how do you make sure you're growing? Is growth actually important? And what kind of frameworks exist for you to think about growth, right? So overall, the topic I want to keep coming back to with each of these points is, are you investing in yourself enough? So the kind of example I want to give you, that I want to get you thinking about, is consider a company, right? This company is either publicly listed on the stock market or it's privately owned. Let's assume for this company, it's publicly listed. So we're going to say Acme, right? And their ticker is whatever, Acme, and their stock price is X per share, right? Now you might think, oh, is this about personal finance? Not at all. I'm just taking an example. Now, you might already know this about stocks. You don't have to be an expert, but stocks change price over time, right? And one thing that is we take for granted when it comes to businesses and companies, but we don't apply to ourselves, is this idea of growth, which is a company on the stock market doesn't stand still. It doesn't just stand here and not move up or down, right? As time passes, and time will pass, you're either moving up or you're moving down. Stationary means nothing is happening, which never happens. I want you to think about yourself as well. The position you are in right now, right, is a very unique one, because we're entering a new year. We're entering 2021. And this is usually a great time to do a review, which is how did your previous year go? And then do the opposite of review, like a forward thinking thing. I won't really call it goal setting, but let me just call it planning, right? Now, when you do this, I want you to think about the place you are at right now. Are you investing in growth? Are you investing in personal growth as much as you could? Now, let me give you an example of that. Let's say you're here right now. That's you. And let's say you work for a certain company or you're freelancing, right? You have a certain amount of money coming in. You have these kind of projects going on, and that's your, sphere of life. That's what's happening right now. Apply time to this. As the time passes forward, do you see yourself doing more of the same thing, or are you trying to do different things? But you as a person is inevitably going to change. Are you going up, right? If I had to show it here, are you going to be going up? Is the trend upwards or is the trend downwards? Because things don't really stay the same. So to sort of wrap up a little bit of what I'm talking about is, always think about investing in yourself. On the stock market, you have hundreds of companies that you can invest in. You can put money, you can observe their price, you can do technical analysis, you can do a lot of stuff. In your life, you are the only company that matters. You really need to invest in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, how can you expect others to? Which is, whenever you're joining a company, let's say as a designer, what they're looking at is this person on a good positive trajectory? Oops, why did I use red? What they're looking at is this person on a positive trajectory, which is this person has been doing things so well that now they're going up, and the kind of things they're going to do, we're going to give them more responsibility, and they're going to be doing way more interesting things. So we want to hire this person. Or when they speak to you and you're like, hey, whatever signals they get, right? Whenever you're interviewing with somebody, they're taking signals off of you. Are the signals that you are not progressing or you're staying the same? You as a company, right, you need to invest in your personal growth, and you need to make sure that you're going up, because if you're not going up, there is no stationary, you're going down. How exactly can you invest in yourself? I won't dive too much into that, but let me give you a few pointers that you can think about. Investing in yourself, you are the product, you are the stock price, right? This is you. You now need to think about where do you want to be. So as time passes, what are the things that should change? Like here, for example, this thing which I drew, let me quickly show you. This thing that I drew here, what's happening here is you're doing a certain thing. Then you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it slightly differently. Versus here, you're doing things at a much bigger scale, right? I want you to think about what are the things you want to be doing. What are the kinds of things you want to be doing? Then you can also think about what kind of people you want to be investing in. So let me just write down a few of these things. The way you can invest in yourself is, firstly, think about, as time passes, what changes? Right? What exactly do you want to change? Secondly, what do you want to do? Do you want to do more of the same thing, or do you want to do something different? Right? Think about that. And then think about this. Do my input metrics match? Now, this might just be the most important part of the video, which is when you start thinking about the future, when you start thinking of the time, you're thinking about, I am here currently in the present, and I want to be here in the future. And when this happens, you're looking for a certain outcome. You want something to happen so that current state changes into the future state. But the most important thing is, what are the input metrics? Which is, for example, let me give you a very simple example. Say you want to learn a musical instrument. You're learning a musical instrument, right? Whatever it might be. At the very least, your input metrics will be in the number of hours that you put in, right? Without putting in the number of hours and deliberate practice, you don't expect to get good. You don't expect that suddenly you're going to be able to play the guitar. You have to practice. That's an input metric. So what you want to think about when you're investing in yourself is, do your input metrics match? Which is, wherever you want to be, are you putting in enough of a effort or whatever else that input might be to help you get there? And one way that I think about this is in terms of the people. People can really change your trajectory. For example, you watching this video right now, you might be like, this is bullshit, I didn't understand anything. You forget about this by tomorrow. Or something in this video, even if it's a small thing, sticks with you, and you're like, hey, that sounds interesting, and you keep thinking about it. Surrounding yourself with a certain type of person, like let's say I am a person, the community you're in is a person, your college friends, your classroom, there are people that you surround yourselves with. These people will determine what kind of trajectory you have. So when it comes to work, I really recommend having the right set of mentors. And our mentors can be official, which is, for example, if you enroll in the 10K designers cohort, we have official mentors. Me and all the other mentors, we officially are responsible for mentoring you. Or mentors can be unofficial, which is they might never talk to you. They might exchange DMs with you every once in a while. They're not officially a mentor, but they can still help you out with stuff. If they put out a tweet, they put out a video, they're helping you, they're unofficially a mentor. Officially would mean when somehow your success is tied together, which is, for example, in 10K designers, I want all my students to do really good, because that makes 10K designers a better place for designers to come in the future. That's how we actually reach that number, 10K. So coming back to this, the people that you surround yourself with are really important. Mentors, colleagues. Even when looking at companies, You can really look at the product, you can look at the funding they've raised, but in the end, it comes down to the people. The people who are at that company, are they really the kind of people you want to work with every single day? In the future, do you see yourself becoming more like them? All of these things are something to think about. So overall, to wrap it up, that's the end of this video. What I want to say is always, always, always be investing in yourself. You are the only stock that matters. If you don't invest in yourself, it's very hard to get other people to invest in you. If you're not moving upwards, you're moving downwards. There are times when you're staying still, but keep in mind that there is a default. You might be going down by default rather than up by default. And if you want to invest in yourself, how exactly do you do this? Check out the input metrics. Think about where you want to be and think about what's coming. What inputs are you giving to actually reach that eventual goal? People matter a lot, whether it's mentors, official or unofficial, or it's the people that you work with. Even the community that you're in matters a lot.
If you enjoyed that video, please, of course, let us know. Leave a like and comment. But besides that, this is what we do for a living. We help creatives and designers level up in their careers. If you'd like to join one of our live programs, we do them a few times a year. Check out the link in the description. It's 10kdesigners.com. And I'll see you around.